There's a giant 9-foot tall gentleman somewhere down in Florida that's going to join us. This guy, obviously, all pro in the NFL, tight end, giant human, caught tons of touchdowns. Really a good dude, very unique dude. We started talking about this guy yesterday on the show a little bit. He had a bit of a wreck in Miami, I believe, when he was on his bicycle riding. A car may have done something to him, but let's welcome in Mr. Jimmy Graham.
Sweet. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. So let's see. Are you on your boat right now and you're using Starlink internet?
Yeah, I'm on the boat right now. So if I break up, sorry about that.
Yeah, hopefully it works. It'll be good for Elon. He'll want to see how this works out here live on air. If the connection is good, Jimmy, what can you show us your calf and can you explain it from start to finish exactly what happened yesterday when you got, or a couple of days ago, you got sideswiped by a car?
Yeah. Well, right now my leg's kind of wrapped up, but basically I was coming back from the Key. You know, we've got great cyclists down here in Miami. I started last year cycling because I wanted to do something to stay in shape on the boat, and ended up falling in love with it. You know, we've got guys like Ray Lewis, Desmond Howard, just all these guys are riding every week here. So we've got big, nice groups here. And I was on my way back to the boat, and I guess a guy on the one lane didn't see me because the sun was coming up and just took a left and just T-boned me. I was probably going 20. He was probably going 20, 25. And,
Damn.
I ripped all the skin off my back, and I've got that big laceration, and luckily I had a helmet on, and I guess he hit my left side, and so the side that crunched into the bike just shattered the carbon fiber on the bike 6 different places, and then that ran into my leg. So at first I thought I like shattered my leg at first, but it ended up just being a cut, and I think all the years of punishment in the NFL kind of built the calluses up,
Jeez, is that your first bike wreck? I know you dabble into every cool, fun activity there is. Is that your first time you get hit by a car?
Yeah, that's the first time I've been hit by a car. But down in Miami is a little dangerous, man. Everybody, it's almost country down here, and everybody's in a hurry and on their phone. So, it's your antenna's always up down here, but unfortunately, man, I couldn't get out of the way. I was going too fast, and he just didn't see me at all. So
I mean, I think there's YouTube clips all over of people getting hit down in Florida on bikes. I know that's a thing. Jimmy, so can you walk us through what all the things you fly, jump out of, scuba diving, what your plans are for next year, what your plans are with the boat? Can you just take us through a little bit of all your aviation specialty and the helicopters and aerobatics and float planes and everything you have?
Yeah. Well, I've, like during my career, I always wanted to stay focused and always wanted to kind of challenge my mind and challenge everything outside of football, because during the season you're locked into that, but in the off season you have all this time. So for the first 10 years of my career, I got 10 different licenses. So, I'm a commercial helicopter, commercial multi, single engine. I'm a seaplane pilot, aerobatic pilot. And so, I fly a little bit of everything. I'll do air shows eventually one day, and just a few a year, and obviously I fly myself everywhere. I got the seaplane, and then obviously the helicopter for the foundation. I rebuilt a Huey from the Vietnam War, so we take up underprivileged kids. We expose them to the STEM program, to the aerospace technology program, and the jobs that are provided there. And obviously our big goal as well is taking up veterans of any war, especially Vietnam, and just thanking them for their service.
Jeez, Ty Schmidt has something for you, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy, I'm a big-time Packers fan, and while you were on the Packers, I was one of those dipshits who I'd see your Instagram and be like, geez, all this guy cares about is flying planes. I want him to catch more touchdowns. But then as I keep, looking at your Instagram and stuff like that and see, the kind of pilot you are, it's like, holy shit, this guy's amazing. He might be the most interesting human being on the planet. So when did you initially know you wanted to get into all this kind of stuff? Because I feel like you don't just wake up one morning and be like, hey, I want to start piloting planes and jumping out of planes. And as you got better at it and got more hours in the sky, is that when you kind of decided I think I'm going to hang it up? Because I feel like with how big you are and how athletic you are, you could have played another 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. I was still thinking about playing last year and ended up turning down a couple teams because for me, it's about the right situation, and the ability to mentor some young guys and obviously just to catch phase in the red zone because, I've always been pretty good at that. But this all started when I was a young kid, man. I watched the movie Top Gun and got obsessed with it. And then, basically when I went to the league, I just saw it as, now I have every opportunity to make every dream come reality, man. And I just chased after every dream I ever had. And, I'm still doing that. I saved actually the water for retirement because at the time, all the workouts I was doing, I mean, I was completely obsessed during my career with trying to be in shape and being strong and just trying to maximize my potential, that I had no room for anything else. I basically had, training, flying, and basically taking care of my dog, just making sure she was good. But so now that I'm, looking to retire, now I have this whole new avenue, kind of this whole new area to push my mind, push my body. And obviously, my end goal here is I'm living on a sailboat now, and I'm doing that so I can learn quicker. I've got some pretty good mentors to teach me how to fix everything. That's the biggest thing is when you're trying to get around the world, you've got to be the mechanic. You've got to be obviously the sailor. You've got to be the cook. You've got to be kind of the fix it of all. And you have to really understand those because there's parts of the world that are, there's really no help and it can be extremely dangerous. So that's the process I'm going through now. And that'll eventually, I'm hoping to eventually fly around the world and then sail around the world solo and really test myself in many ways.
Well, this guy, Boston Connor, I don't know if he's going to do that, but he has a question for you, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy, I do. First thing, that video of you with Simple Man playing in the background, I think you had some cool Oakley shades on. Need some more of those. I probably watched that video 15, 20 times at once because it was so cool. So maybe run those back. You mentioned Top Gun. Have you met Tom Cruise, and have you also maybe been reached out to, like, hey, we need a 6'8" pilot who also, like skull crushes someone because something gets mixed up while they're trying to land the plane? Have you been approached to play any roles as far as, a pilot or now a sailor go?
Not yet. When I was a little younger, I kind of stayed away from a lot of stuff. I was offered a couple roles and just kind of stay focused on me. But, obviously, being bald and 6'7", everybody always says that I should be the Rock's.
Bingo.
Body
his stunt double, because I can actually do all those things. So we'll never know. But actually, how about I'm actually building a hangar, which will be done soon. I actually own part of a runway, so the runway's in my backyard, and so I actually take off and fly from my backyard now. And
Wow.
If you guys want to, sometime during the season, man, we should get something together. Try to get an episode and just air it from my hangar, and then I'll take up everybody in the helicopter. I'll take up some poor soul in the aerobatic plane, and I'll show you how to flip a plane.
Can you take us in the helicopter? Can we? I know the doors usually open like you're flying through Vietnam. Yeah. Can we jump out into the oceans and do all those kind of things?
Well, see, the thing is, there's a lot of rules when it comes to aviation. So you need quite a bit of permits for certain things.
There's like a lagoon,
but I can guarantee.
Isn't there a lagoon we can find where no one's at?
There are, but I would get in trouble just being a commercial pilot and everything. But I'll take you guys downtown Fort Lauderdale, and we'll land on a building and go to Los Olas and like eat breakfast or something.
And we can sprint out cool. Like we're landing somewhere. Like go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey Jimmy, Pac-Man Jones has something for you.
Hey Jimmy, I'm a fan of yours, man. I want to talk about the Pro Bowl and first ballot Hall of Fame. I think you should get in. You got 5 Pro Bowls, 1 All-Pro, first team, 2 All-Pro, second team. You got 82 touchdowns, over 9,000 yards. How do you think you fit on that ballot? Do you think you're first ballot, second ballot? We definitely know you're going.
Honestly, man, I guess throughout my career, I caught a little bit of hate, especially at the end, man. I don't think people realize how difficult it was to get over that knee injury, man. It took me a couple of years to really battle to get over it. For me, man, I don't know. It's I know I've always been kind of a private person, which sometimes doesn't help out. And, I've always been kind of living in the shadows and really not diving into all the politics and, all the fandom of it. But, man, I hope one day that my name's called, man. And obviously, man, I had the opportunity to battle against guys like you. I'll never forget, going into Cincy and, just leaving there just beat up because, man, all you guys are so physical, man. I remember you hit me low probably 3 times in the game, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to walk again. But I appreciate all the battles. I really do.
Tone Diggs, what do you got?
Yeah, Jimmy, we were arguing this yesterday. I don't know if it was an argument. We were talking about it yesterday. What's the route for when we're going around the world sailing? Are we going to Magellan?
How long, too?
Are we going down Antarctica? What's the route for when we go around the world?
Yeah, so the only way around the world is down. You know, you got to go down. It's in the Southern Ocean. So that's really the most dangerous part of the world because it's where the winds go around the world unimpeded. So, you know, on a daily basis down there, you have swells of 40 feet. And so it can be extremely dangerous, extremely windy, and really the further south you go, the faster you'll go, but you'll start to run into icebergs.
Jimmy,
so that's kind of the bigger issue.
You have everything in the world. Why are we playing truth or dare here?
And you got an engine, right? I mean, like you got a motor when you can't sail, right? Like when you. So I mean, right now I do, but the idea is this is the practice boat that I'm currently on right now. This is where I'm learning everything, and eventually I'm going to build a carbon, either cat or carbon monohull. And the idea is I want to get around the world fast. You know, I want to go as fast as I can and try to do it. So once basically I leave from Miami, I won't touch land again. So whatever I'm carrying on board is all that I'll have until I get back to Miami. So the idea is. You know, you're not going to be running the motor regardless because you're going to need that fuel for maybe something else, you know, and it's actually cheating to run the motor. So for me, the idea is once you leave port here, there's no motor that's allowed to be run. It's all by sail. So at times, I'll just be, you know, if I hit a lull in wind, then I'll be hanging out, probably fixing stuff at that point. But, you know, after that, then I'll probably get back on the horse. You know, there's a couple things around the world. I've tracked this one race called the Vendée Globe, which is a single-handed race around the world. I had a friend named Alex who did it for Hugo Boss, and I think he's been around the world, you know, 8-9 times single-handed. But there's been more people into space than have been around the world single-handed, and you know, I feel like that's kind of a big test of, you know, myself, you know, a reflection, being alone that long, you know, the ability to deal with some of my past, and I plan to write a book when I do it, so It should be interesting. Hey, Jimmy, so I don't know if you know this. Pat's at home with his newborn baby. I think he got so excited once he saw you on here. I think he might be on. He might be on the line here. Pat, what's up? What do you got for Jimmy?
Hey.
Oh,
Jimmy,
here we go.
Am I dead?
There he is.
Jimmy, hey, baby's here. I want to let you know. I hope she goes on to become 1/60th of you know all of the things you have. Become in license 10 years, 10 different licenses, absolutely bananas. Listening to the sailboat conversation and then you inviting us to your hangar in your backyard and you said, I'll show you how to flip a plane. It's like, I'm good. You know, like let's keep the plane the way it is. But I would definitely come. We would love to come down. And I know the boys answered that. I would just like to reiterate the fact, like, we need to make that happen. Like, let's actually make that happen and do that. You are maybe the most fascinating human on earth. You said next football season we'll come down and do that. When are you going to sail? You might answer this in the delay from the TV to my phone. When are you setting sail? How long does it take? And like, are people going to be able to come visit you? Or I heard the tail end of your answer there. Is this like a darkness retreat for you? Like,
sounds like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of that. You know, I mean, obviously, I think everybody knows that I went through a lot as a child, and you know, I think I've been so busy up until this moment trying to change my narrative, trying to get out of where I was and try to become something that I really haven't had a chance to reflect on some of those things, and so, you know, there's nothing like being in the middle of the ocean at night alone. That'll stir up some feelings. So,
Jimmy, that's a nightmare.
Russian roulette.
No. Well, everything I do is calculated risk, man, and so that's why I'm taking my time now to learn. You know, that's why I'm on this boat right now. I plan to do it when I'm 40, actually, because I've got to build a carbon fiber boat to do it. This boat, I'm going to take over to Europe at some point. Right now, I'm going to, you know, I'm in the Bahamas. Yeah.
Forge the river, dude.
Forge the river.
Yeah. I'm going to go down to Argentina because I want to learn Spanish, so I might go down there for like a month or two, and so, you know,
Duolingo too. You could use.
Yeah.
Rosetta Stone.
Well, it's a little easier if you're just living in it.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess. Hey, are you on your phone right there, or is this your computer?
This is my phone right now.
Can you show us a little bit of the interior of that deal, of your boat?
Yeah.
That carbon fiber.
Yes.
So this is your trainer boat, you said?
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah. So this is the practice. This is the practice boat.
Let's see.
Sorry.
Here.
So this is the practice boat.
It's a nice ass practice boat.
Damn.
Oh no, it's nice. It's nice.
I mean,
and then
that's very nice.
Here's like one of the rooms.
Dang.
So,
how's the weather in the Caribbean? How's the weather in the Caribbean right now, Bahamas?
well, Miami's beautiful. So it's always beautiful.
They can go down there.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so you're going to build a monohull?
Right now I'm in Miami.
You're not building a like we were watching that race yesterday in San Francisco.
Yeah.
You're going to build something like those boats?
No, those are
big catamarans.
Those are bay. Yeah, but those are bay racers. So those can't leave and go to the open ocean. They'll like break apart in the open ocean, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, those things are basically F1 race cars. So like an F1 race car can't leave a track. If you put that on the road, just a little bump, it'll shatter probably its front suspension. It's kind of the same with those bay racers. So this one will be monohull, but most likely a catamaran because those go a little faster. These carbon cats now are unbelievably fast. They have dagger boards for stability. And like I was in a carbon cat last year made by HH Catamarans that went.
Yep.
It was a 50-footer, and we went 24 knots on the open ocean. I know a 60-footer will probably go, somewhere between 30 to 34 knots. So, for me, I want to do it. I don't want to take my time, and I want to have a good time and, go fast, obviously.
Are you so those things make their own water and everything? You get out in the middle of the ocean. Can you you got a desalination plant in there?
Yeah. There's a water maker. I'll have about 4, 5, 6 sails on board. I'll have backup parts to everything.
Will you be fishing for food at times?
Yeah. I'll be trolling, and that's one of the things that's going to take the longest is, just trying to understand nutrition-wise how to do that because I'm so big and I eat so many. I mean, I probably eat 2 whole chickens a day, and I've been doing that for 20 years. So I've got to figure out just how to carry all that protein. So. Oh,
I don't know if I didn't hear you or not. Have you ever met Tom Cruise?
No, not yet. I've been, it's been a dream, and I know he's got his own hangar. I know he's got a P-51, and obviously I'm in that warbird community as well. So I'm looking forward to meeting him, man, because he does everything. He's always been a big mentor, as far as, the things that he's done through his career and his life, always challenging himself and always, making sure that he's the one that's doing it. I've always looked up to that, obviously. And that's why I say where I'm in today.
Is there like a crew? Is there like a celebrity civilian pilots thing like you and Harrison Ford and Travolta? Mm-hmm. We know Tom Cruise, he's kind of his own planet. Do you guys ever rub elbows like EAA up there at Oshkosh?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, a lot of good people at EAA up at Oshkosh, and that's usually where it all goes down. I'm friends with the greatest aerobatic pilots ever lived, Sean D. Tucker, as far as air shows, and then obviously Rob Holland is our world champion. But everybody basically in that community, especially the Warbird community, we're all pretty close. We all know each other. We all do charity events together, and we all look to give to each other's charities as far as like rides and as far as favors for kids and for veterans. So, obviously Harrison Ford was the co-chairman of Young Eagles before I was, and then before him was Sully. So, I've had the opportunity to meet both those guys, and obviously right when we all get together, we just tell pilot stories. We just talk about, all the weird things that we went through and just some close calls we've had. Obviously I've flown across the country. I've probably done it about 10 times now in an old warplane. So when you're doing that low level, you're gonna experience some things. I remember I brought the Huey up to Green Bay. That took me 16 hours of flying. I stop every 2 hours. And I brought it up to fly Aaron Rodgers. So, it was a special trip, man. And obviously it was worth all the fuel, to be able to fly with him and to kind of share everything that I've been working on for the last decade with him.
That's awesome. Connor, what do you have?
Yeah, Jimmy, so you're going to sail around the world. You're going to fly around the world. You were just talking about how you do the cycling with some of those other guys. Have you thought about doing like a cycle across America or across Europe or any other countries, or are you going to worry about that once you dominate the ocean?
No. So that's also a part, kind of a little piece of it too. Is I've actually got a race next month. Myself and Luke Wilson. He was my boy in Seattle, and now he's training to try to make the Olympics in the velodrome on the track on a bike. Damn. So basically, it's like it's like a round oval track where it's just all basically it's wood floor, and you're on a bike that has one gear, no brakes, and you basically are sending the bike as hard as you humanly possibly can. And obviously it's very dangerous.
Luke Wilson, the tight end from Seattle.
Yeah,
that Luke Wilson. He's trying to get in the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
Do you think he has a shot?
Yeah. For sure. Like 100%. I mean, he has a great chance because, like, for example, like when it comes to sprinting or when it comes to kind of these short punches, a guy like me and Luke, we all have a max 2,000 watts. You know, like my max wattage is 2,000. So when you're doing a sprint and when you're racing short like that, you're just dumping what you have. And most cyclists, they'll max out at, like, pro cyclists max out at 1,500 watts, you know, but we've been lifting big weights since we were 14. And, you know, as you know, power cleaning, box squats and stuff, we just have that power in our legs already. So you're able to just send a bike, especially when you do it on a track. On a track, there's no wind. There's nothing. It's all those elements are taken out of it.
I mean, they're just wrecking into the guys next to you going 85 miles an hour with no brakes, right?
Unfortunately, that's like he fell off like last week and just got dusted. I mean, he's fine. You know, obviously we're built for that shit, you know, so it ain't that big of a deal.
Yeah, I guess now, last thing before we go, I know you're a skydiver too, right? Are you an instructor when it comes to skydiving?
No, not yet.
How many jumps you
right
have?
now? No, I've only got about 100 jumps. You know, it was something where I had to kind of park that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, kind of the craziest story. I've never told this, but you know, I can now that I'm retiring.
Yes.
So I get to Seattle. I'm traded for a first-round pick, Max Unger, the whole thing. I move all the way across the country. I know nobody. I don't know what's going on. I had a really close mentor pass away, and then week 10 I blow my knee up, and I rupture my patella tendon, and they're telling me you'll never play again. And you know, I see my future. I see so much that I'd worked for just falling away. So that off season, you know, I'm grinding to get back. Obviously, after that season, I missed no games. You know, I came back 9 months later, which was almost impossible. I played with the incomplete patella for a year and a half. And but before that season started, because I had always done something new every off season, I was like going crazy, man. Like I couldn't deal with the fact that I wasn't learning anything. So 2 weeks before the season started, before I was cleared to even run or play, that's when I went and got my skydive license. So I jumped out of a plane and because I'm so big, I can't go tandem. So the first time I jumped out, it's called the AFF program, and it's an accelerated program. You do 8 hours of ground school, and then the next day you go out and you jump out of a plane with people holding on to you. I did those 2 jumps, and then I went to the season, man, and I just felt fulfilled after that. And then, you know, obviously made the Pro Bowl that year, limping around. So, you know, was definitely blessed.
And you didn't let the Seahawks know. Now they know. Right?
Oh, now they know. But trust me, Pete. Obviously, we saw John Snyder this weekend, man. It was awesome to see him at the Derby, man. He's just like one of the best ever do it. And obviously, he's like a player's GM. So is Pete. He's a player's coach, man. And so they already knew I was kind of crazy, man. I was flying into work every day anyway.
Yeah,
so,
you were flying. So you landed your float plane, right? People don't. You had a float plane. It's on floats. You land it there, and they have a dock right by the facility. How does that work?
Yeah. So my first week in the building, John Nordstrom, he used to own the team. He sold it to his friend Paul Allen. Well, he shows up to the building and he says, "I hear you're a pilot." And I'm like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Have you ever done the seaplane stuff?" And I said, "No, I've been waiting." So his plane was outside on the dock. So we hopped in his plane and we went on a tour of Seattle. And then I got my seaplane license the next weekend. So
next weekend.
So after that, you know, I started flying with him probably every 2 weeks. I pick him up at his house. He picked me up at my house and we go get some food, man. He was a great mentor when it comes to seaplanes. But I started to, because I lived at the top of Lake in Juanita. So it took me 45-minute flight drive to get there, but it was a 5-minute flight. So yeah, man, I used to do like a live story and I used to just fly into work. And then on Monday and Tuesdays, that's how all the foundation stuff started. Was I was flying wounded warriors from the facility. So on Mondays and Tuesdays after the game, we'd bring in wounded warriors and then I would give them a tour and I'd take them up in a seaplane flight and teach them how to fly. And then I'd send them with a jersey and a couple helmets. So that's how that all started, really.
That's sweet.
That's dope.
That's pretty nice. Pretty nice experience. I know. I see you flying all the flying the kids around too in the Huey, the giant helicopter. You can't sneak in anywhere there. I would imagine flying into Green Bay, wherever you're trying to land and fuel up. Like, I mean, didn't the whole town come out, I would imagine, and just surround you wherever you go?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it definitely is a showstopper, man. You can hear the thing from 10 miles away. Every time I go up and fly down Miami Beach here, I probably get 100 text messages and about 10 videos of me doing it. But, you know, man, everything we're doing with that is you know, to service our kids, man, to service our future and our veterans, man. So I want to make sure that all you boys get down. You come get this flight with me. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Ask Aaron, obviously, he's been on the flight. It's a different level. People really don't understand. I mean, this thing is beautiful, but also the smell, the sounds of it.
They strapped in, Jimmy? I hope that couple strapped in right there.
No. Everybody's strapped in. Actually, that guy right there in that door, he was put on 3 tours in Vietnam and won a Purple Heart in Vietnam. So, you know, we've had some special flights with our veterans, man. And, you know, obviously I've had like full generations in there, and, you know, Vietnam Purple Heart guys crying and telling all these stories about being shot down and surviving in the jungle. It's pretty unbelievable.
Man, that can't be legal. You look like you were flying pretty low there in between buildings, Jim. Do you have to get a special clearance for that?
No. Miami International below there. It's 500 feet or lower. You can't be over a congested amount of people. There's all these little rules, but we make sure we follow them because, you know, I got to lead by example, man. People are, you know,
and everybody knows it's you. Everybody sees the giant Huey that completely refurbished.
That's Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, of course. Like that's not just some other helicopter up there in the sky. Last thing, quick. I know I already said something. What do you think about the Derby? You enjoy the Derby? Like you said, when you mentioned John Schneider, you got me thinking because it's so good to see guys like that when you get down there and you didn't know he'd be there. But yeah, you seem to know everybody too. Wherever we're sitting at this table here, you know, like Peyton's over there. There's all these people that all do all kind of stuff. Jimmy's just up and down the line people, because I think it's also because you're such a giant human. They're like, what are you, sir? And then he usually knows he has a connection with most of them. Like you know, actually shared an Uber with him back in 07.
Flew him to
we stayed 3 nights in Fiji and I flew him out. Like that's usually what happens. But yeah, it seemed like you have a good time out there.
Yeah, you know, man, I'm a big Avatar, man, so everybody kind of, you know, gravitates towards me, man. But you know, it was unbelievable being back with the guys, being back with you, man, being back with the crew. Obviously, shout out to Aaron, man, for, you know, inviting all of us and getting us all back together. You know, that's probably the first time since I've been out of the locker room where I felt like I was back at home, you know, back with family, back with the boys, you know, being able to share the moments, man, smoke some cigars, obviously drink a lot of tequila. But, man, it was unbelievable. And man, I hope we get to do it every year because, you know, there's not a better weekend.
I agree, man. Thank you so much for coming on here. I know yesterday I was glad you weren't like hiding from somebody. I thought, hey, man, now all of a sudden I guess they sent me a TMZ story that we were talking about. I was like, man, what if Jimmy told a couple people he's not in Miami right now? What if Jimmy told some people he's like wherever? Now we put him on the news getting hit by a car. So thanks, man. Really appreciate it. We absolutely need to figure it out and take you up on that. Get down to your hangar, ride around the helicopter.
Absolutely.
We promise none of us probably will not jump out into the ocean if you're like 50 feet up, 30 feet up. But we'll do everything by the rules. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on, Jimmy.
Appreciate it, brother. Thanks for having me, man. I'll see you guys this season.
All right. Jimmy Graham, ladies and
Jimmy!
Yeah.
What a legend. Fucking guy is amazing.
Does a little bit of everything.